Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Yesterday, Bitcoin hit the new current all-time high of 99,900, coming within $100 striking distance of that six-figure milestone. Six figures still in play. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest technical analysis and quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Kaiser. The only job the Treasury Secretary has is to get out of the way of Bitcoin. Preach. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin ETFs to see 2.4 billion of inflows as the China ETFs hit a record outflow. We'll also be discussing the potential SEC chair pledges crypto forward approach after Gensler's resignation. Goodbye, Gary. You're fired. Now go home and get your shine box. Like a good little Boy Scout. We'll also be discussing state pension plans can adopt crypto more easily than the private plans. Bring on the pension funds. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin may reach 180,000 by the end of 2025, according to the TYMIO founder. I think that is very modest, but nonetheless, we'll be entertaining it. We'll also be discussing VanEck reissues a 180,000 Bitcoin price target for the current market cycle. And in fact, their CEO came out and just shared that Bitcoin is going to 300,000, and ultimately that's based on it overtaking half the market cap of gold, which is currently sitting at 17 trillion. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, fam, plus so much more in today's show. If you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes, then go ahead and subscribe. Then hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications before we hit 100K. It could be any moment now. And today is pod episode 1827. I'm your host, JV. It's November 23rd, 2024. Bitcoin tapped a new all-time high, $99,900. And today a little correction, but still maintaining at roughly 97.5 at the time of the pod. And checking out our Coin 360. Let's kick it off with our market watch. Bitcoin pullback. The alts are ripping like the new Scottie Pippen. XLM up roughly 50% on the day. Polkadot up 33%. Uni up 16%. Everything ripping again like the new Scottie Pippen here. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the crypto market cap surpassed an all-time high market cap earlier. Today it's at 3.33 trillion. Bitcoin market cap on the cusp of hitting 2 trillion, new all-time high as well, currently sitting at 1.927 trillion. Let's check out the volume. Well, dominance is 58% even. The Bitcoin dominance took a step back along with the Ether dominance as some of the smaller alts are continuing to pump. And we have 220 billion in volume for the past 24 hours. Checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. Stellar Lumens leading the pack, up 46% on the day, 136% on the week. Polkadot up 33% on the day, and Celestia up 30%. Which alts, if any, are you bullish on for the bull? Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the daily. Virtually all the alts just running it up right now, and on the monthly, very similar scenario, but even more impressive gains. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index. Yesterday, we tapped a high of I think it was 98. Today, we came down a little, but we're still in extreme greed at a 93. Yesterday, 94. Last week, an 86. And last month, a 69 in greed. And let's check out the time chain calendar, see how many sats we can get per dollar as of today's exchange, as this is loading. We're currently on block number 871,665. You can currently get 1,026 sats per dollar. Obviously, once we smash 100,000 per coin, it's going to be less than 1,000 sats per dollar. So last call, happy sat stacking Saturday, stack them sats. Here's the latest technical analysis, aka astrology for the broskies. Headline reads, Bitcoin wild odds see 85% chance a Bitcoin price above 100,000 by New Year's. Well, damn, we still got 5 weeks yet to rip through Q4. I dare say Bitcoin's going to hit 100K literally today. Is that so far of a stretch for a 2% pump from Satoshi? I know we're capable of, but I digress. Here you go. Bitcoin may have not cracked 100,000 yet. Well, it was virtually 99.9 on Coinbase. Some of the exchanges it did cross 100K, so it all matters what you're looking at, but nonetheless, according to live figures from Kalshi, the odds of Bitcoin being at 100,000 or higher on December 31st stand at 85%. There's even a 9% chance that Bitcoin will crack 150 Gs in that time. I'd say that's very modest odds, but you don't know what you don't know, and obviously the people don't know much. And along with an outside bet of 250,000 or higher, right in alignment with our very own price prediction of the Oracle. Now, all in, Kalshi's medium forecast sees $125,000 Bitcoin price tag becoming a reality by the new year. Quoting the Kabisi letter, it seems that the prediction markets are beginning to price in a potential breakout rally above 100 Gs. Send it. They also noted Bitcoin's market cap may end up at $2.5 trillion, which is virtually up another $500 billion by January 1st. Send it. Also, the hash rate continues to break out, hit yet another all-time high here this morning. Bitcoin is already up nearly 40% in November and 55% in the fourth quarter overall, making this year almost as lucrative as the last quarter of 2023 per data from monitoring resource CoinGlass. Rampant Bitcoin price gains have barely seen consolidation or support retests since Bitcoin broke through the old all-time highs that were set back in mid-March, where we tapped, I believe it was maybe 73 and some change. And while some argue the retracement should come next to shore up potential future upside, the market has yet to provide any signs of slowing down. 100,000 remains Bitcoin's most significant psychological barrier. Mass inflows of institutional investors are vying with long-term hodlers, distributing coins, hodl for years. According to the week on chain, the ETFs have played a key role absorbing over 90% of the sell-side pressure by the long-term hodlers. Shout out to my diamond hands, laser eyes. However, as unrealized profits reach more extreme levels, we expect Bitcoin more long-term hodler spending, which in the immediate term has outpaced the ETF inflows. And there you have it. The US ETF saw their most successful week of inflows, and we'll be diving deeper into the ETF inflows a little later. And quoting Max Kaiser, the only job the Treasury Secretary has is to get out of the way of Bitcoin. And as you know, we're going to have a new Treasury Secretary in play here in the United States, and hopefully they stay out of the way of the biddy so biddy can do what biddy does best. Go up forever, Laura. And checking out some of the live charts, we'll pull this up here. Let me switch out the scene so you can see clearly. You can see this is brought to you via TradingView, via Coinbase. This is the 1 minute chart. You see there's a correction. We're currently sitting above 97.4. This is live right now, family. Welcome everyone joining the live stream. Here's the 1 hour chart. We'll work our way backwards. We do have a rising wedge formation on the 1 hour. We do have a blue target sitting at 105, but we also have a bear flag and a bear target now forming at roughly the 93.4 level. And zooming out from the 1 hour, check out the 4 hour chart here on your screen. Also shows a bullish pennant breakout, bullish, and only a bull scenario here with a bullish pennant sitting sexy at 108,000, 108 in play. Let's go. And zooming out from there, we'll check out the 1 day. We've had a hell of a run up. You can see in the past couple of weeks here, finally a corrective red candle after pure bullishness all week. And again, we're still above 97,000 holding its own while the alts are finally running off the back of the most recent Bitcoin pump, which is pretty normal. When Bitcoin consolidates, a lot of those gains move into the alts. Maybe alt season is here to stay. What are your thoughts, family? As a rising tide rises all ships, and Bitcoin is literally up close to $30,000 in the past 30 days. So again, congrats to all the Bitcoiners out there. Checking out the 1 week, we still have 4 green consecutive weeks form for the weekly closes. We still have the sexy cup and handle target sitting at 124,000. And zooming out from the weekly, take a quick look at the 1 month, and you can see Moonvember candle still building, still flexing. And I don't think we've seen the height of that candle yet. I think we're more likely to continue to push through 100,000 here in Moonvember. But let me know your thoughts, fam. I'm going to read your comments out loud. Welcome everyone joining the live stream. Now let's discuss the ETF volumes, which have been off the chain lately. Bitcoin ETFs see 2.4 billion worth of inflows. If China ETF sees some outflows, that's right. Spot Bitcoin ETFs saw their 4th best week of investments, while China-based ETFs suffered their biggest week of outflows in history, flashing another positive sign for the global Bitcoin adoption. US-based Spot Bitcoin ETFs recorded a cumulative 2.42 billion worth of the inflows during the trading week, November 18th to the 22nd, marking the 4th largest week since they debuted. For for trading back on January 11th. Now, the growing Bitcoin ETFs come 2 weeks after Trump won the 2024 presidential election, catalyzing Bitcoin's price rally, which resulted in a record-breaking monthly candle of over 40%. Yeah, literally, Bitcoin is up 30 G's in the past 30 days. That's an average of 1,000 per day. And we now breached 99.9 for the first time, within an inch of striking distance from 100K. Now, meanwhile, China-based ETFs recorded their largest week of outflows, womp womp, quoting the Kabisi letter. Last week alone, China ETFs saw $2 billion of outflows, marking the largest weekly outflow in history. Despite deploying pandemic-like stimulus, recent data suggests China's economy is worsening. Not a good look, China. Bitcoin price action has historically benefited from our economic concerns, or these ones, and issues of traditional finance, like the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and the voluntary liquidation of Silvergate Bank. And in March of 2023, U.S. banking crisis was the main catalyst for the Bitcoin bull run last year, according to the BitMEX co-founder, Just Blaze. Arthur Hayes. The largest China ETF, which is the iShares China Large Cap ETF, saw a record $984 million worth of withdrawals over the past week, marking the 5th consecutive week of negative outflows. The record outflows come despite China's government deploying economic stimulus measures to ease investor concerns over a potential economic depression, according to the Kabisi letter, quoting them here. Even as hundreds of billions of dollars of stimulus has begun, Chinese consumer sentiment is just terrible. Over the last 3 years, consumer confidence in China is down 50 points. Such a drop in consumer assessment of the Chinese economy has almost never been seen before. That's right. What's going on, China? And during the same week, Bitcoin price continued to rally as Bitcoin ETFs broke the 100 billion net asset milestone. And ironic, so did MicroStrategy. Bitcoin price hit a new all-time high, surpassing 99.8 November 22nd, rising almost 10% for the past week, while China's FXI fell over 3%. Sucks to be China, doesn't it? And on the monthly chart, Bitcoin rose 48%, while the FXI fell over 7%, according to TradingView. Some expect the record monthly 10 billion stablecoin flows of the exchanges to push the Bitcoin price beyond 100K before the end of November. Others are concerned over the current rally's sustainability. Let's not forget, Michael Saylor just raised another $3 billion. Is probably buying right now on StatStack on Saturday. And notably, Chris from Crypto.com, he warned that the crypto market will need deleveraging before Bitcoin can breach 100K. Well, there you have it, yo. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, the latest with the SEC chairman. We know Gensler is out of there. Well, there's talks of the new chairman stepping in. So here's the latest. Mark, and I don't know how to pronounce this shit. Let's just say Ueda. Mark Ueda, Republican Commissioner of the U.S. SEC, suggested he would prioritize regulatory clarity for crypto if picked and confirmed as the next head of the agency. Let's go. Speaking on Fox Business November 22nd, he echoed many of the President Trump's talking points on digital assets, saying the SEC under Gensler had waged a war on crypto. And that's not an exaggeration. There was literally, and there still is, until Biden and his administration departs the White House, there is a legitimate war on crypto. So when Trump said, I will end Biden's war on crypto, he's not exaggerating. There's a literal war on suppressing crypto with Gensler as the head of the SEC. Now, Gensler announced November 21st he intended to step down as the SEC chair on Jan 20th. Why? Because Trump's taking office and he doesn't want to be embarrassed and fired by Trump. Ironic, the same day, coincidence? I think not. First off, from a regulatory perspective, we can provide the appropriate clarity, said Ueda. Some crypto is not even a security at all, but we need to make clear whether you fall within the SEC jurisdiction or not. That's right, because the SEC only has jurisdiction over securities. Why do you think Gary wants everything a security? So they can shake them down unlawfully, so they have jurisdiction over them. That's the only reason. Otherwise, it'd be the CFTC, right? Commodities, they have jurisdiction over those. Now, experts suggest that Trump could consider picking Ueda as the next SEC chair. Let me know if you agree with that. Following Gensler's farewell departure, the president-elect announced several candidates for various positions in his administration after winning the November 5th election, but no one to lead the securities regulator at this current time. Ueda said the SEC can consider creating regulatory sandboxes for crypto projects to further U.S. innovation, adding that any changes would require coordination with Congress and the White House for a cohesive, comprehensive approach. Quoting him here, whoever steps into the job, there is a lot of work that needs to be done one to address some of the regulatory excesses, not only at the SEC, but at the other administrative agencies. Now, who will fill Gensler's seat? It's a $1 million question right now. The SEC commissioner declined to comment on whether he will be willing to accept the top job at the regulator. Many consider Dan Gallagher, I don't know this guy either. Let me know if you guys know him. One of Trump's leading contenders, but the Robinhood exec reportedly said, he's an executive at Robinhood, on November 22nd, he wasn't interested in the role. Meanwhile, U.S. President Biden nominated Ueda. Well, if Biden nominated him, I'm not a fan. I'll just throw it out there to fill the vacant seat. Anything Biden recommends, I don't recommend. That's just how I roll. Let me know your thoughts, though, fam. I just don't trust anyone at this point. The SEC reported November 22nd it had filed 583 total enforcement actions just this year and ordering roughly $8 billion in financial remedies. So when I see that, what difference is the SEC from the mafia shaking down folks? They literally shook down CZ for $4 billion. Single-handedly. I think they had to pay that fine to the Department of Justice and the SEC. Then they went after Kraken. They went after Coinbase. In fact, name a crypto exchange the SEC didn't go after. I'll wait. But there you go, yo. Let me know your thoughts on that. Who do you think should replace the chair? No hair Gare. Holla. We don't need the SEC and the Federal Reserve. We have Bitcoin. Preach. We don't need the central banking cartel either. No Biden cronies. Precisely. I don't want none of the cronies. Just say no to the cronies. Just say yes to the Bitcoin homies and no to the anti-Bitcoin cronies. We don't need more anti-Bitcoiners in there. Screw it. I'd rather have Nipsey in there. You got to put a suit on the nip. We'll get one of those bow ties for the dogs. And we'll say that's the new chairman. You're looking at him. You want to see the new chairman? You're looking at him right now. He has 4 legs. That's what a chairman looks like. He's not trying to suppress crypto. He wants Bitcoin to thrive, the Nippinator. He understands the more the Bitcoin thrives, the more treats, the more bones, the more chicken he's going to get. Simple. Win-win. Drain the swamp. All right, here we go, yo. State pension plans can adopt crypto more easily than the private plans. That's right, yo. State pension plans have an easier time allocating a portion of their assets to cryptos than the private pension plans, which must adhere to fiduciary regulation under the Employment Retirement Income Security Act of 1974. According to attorney Ali Itami of Lathrop GPM. Jesus, challenging me here today with these articles. And according to Itami, the Employee Benefit Security Administration, which enforces the ERISA regulations, cited the nascent, volatile nature of crypto as the primary reason for cautioning against the private pension plans investing in the digital assets. Quoting him or her right here. Regulators called the Department of Labor, and specifically the agency that enforces the ERISA. These damn abbreviations are rough. The EBSA, like anyone even knows what that stands for, and I already read it. You know what I mean? They're just keeping it real. And in 2022, they came out with some compliance assistance guidance that was very skeptical about crypto and the ERISA-covered plans. So that has put a damper on the ERISA-covered pension plans, adding crypto. Hence why Nipsey needs to become the chairman of the SEC. The strict enforcement of ERISA regulations and the ensuing fiduciary liability placed on the private pension managers means the capital inflows of the crypto markets from their retirement investment accounts will likely continue to be denominated by state pension plans until the guidance is reversed, as outlined right there. Several state municipal pension funds of the U.S. already have crypto exposure. Back in May, the state of Wisconsin Investment Board revealed $164 million investment into the Bitcoin ETFs. Also, Michigan followed suit in July by disclosing $6.6 million investments into the Bitcoin ETFs. And maybe RFK Jr. can help remove the freaking fluoride from the drinking water in Michigan. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Later broadening its exposure to digital assets in November of 2024, acquiring 460,000 shares of the Grayscale Ethereum Trust and the Grayscale Ethereum Mini Trust. Meanwhile, Florida, shout out all my Floridians, Chief Financial Officer Jimmy Patron, the official responsible for managing the state's pension fund, is now pushing for the biddy to be included in the state's pension programs. Patronus noted, hello Patron broskies, Bitcoin's function as digital gold in a letter urging the state pension funds to consider exposure to to the biddy. In a subsequent appearance on CNBC, Petronas, yes please, said that the crypto is not going anywhere. They not like us, and cited Bitcoin's properties as a hedge against the inflation and a resistance mechanism against the central bank digital currencies, aka Satan. So there you have it, yo. Let me know if you agree or disagree. The pension funds are coming. The sovereign wealth funds are coming. The nation state adoption is coming. The empires are coming. The lizard folks are running. They damn sure not like us. Next story of the day. Let's discuss this 180,000 target. Then we'll discuss the 300,000 prediction. From VanEck, a $90 billion asset manager. Then we'll tap into our live Q&A and premiere a brand new music video by our one and only Chandy 10 Music. Headline here reads, Bitcoin may reach 180,000 by the end of 2025. I think we can hit 180,000 before the end of 2024. How do you like those Granny Smith apples, broskies? The price of the Bitcoin may reach 180 G's, according to Georgie, the founder of the TYMIO decentralized finance platform. Now, in a statement, this person forecasted Verbitsky. I like that name, Verbitsky. It got bit in there. I dig it. A Bitcoin price between 100,000 and 120,000 by the end of 2024 or early 2025 before President-elect Trump assumes office on January 20th. Now, the TYMIO founder continued that Bitcoin may reach 180 Gs by the end of 2025 as more traders are drawn into the fray. And shout out Carlos. He just donated $5 for the cannoli fund. Respect, brother. I appreciate it. So yeah, Bitcoin's price can double during this bull run and has the potential to reach 180 G's threshold. This takes time. We may witness this level closer to the end of 2025. The peak of the cycle could reach much greater levels as we progress into the next 2 years. My response, thank you, Captain Obvious. However, Verbitsky cautioned traders to properly manage risk by diversifying their positions, executing trades via the limit orders, and using options to avoid the devastating effects of rapid market downturns. Now, is Bitcoin supply shock incoming? I think so. And the TYMIO founder also predicted that the decreased block subsidy from the April 2024 halving, future halving events, and lost keys would trigger the supply shock and keep the Bitcoin volatility high. Quoting him here, Bitcoin becomes scarcer because fewer coins are mined each year. Plus, many are lost over time due to the forgotten passwords and misplaced wallets. This sets up the potential for a supply crisis in which demand significantly outstrips actual availability. In these circumstances, the price could rapidly accelerate, pushing volatility to new higher levels. I like that. Bring it. And in June of 2024, the Bitcoin exchange reserves, which is a metric tracking the total number of the Bitcoin available on the exchanges, dropped to a 3-year low. Bitcoin exchange reserves continued to decline and reach another low in August of this year. And I think they're currently at 5-year lows. So stack the biddies accordingly. Now, increased demand due to the President Trump election and macroeconomic factors further strained the already low Bitcoin supply for November 2024. You got to factor in nation state adoption, Bitcoin strategic reserve for the United States of America on a national level, and now at a state level with Texas and other states following suit. And on-ramp Bitcoin co-founder Jesse Myers recently said these factors weren't the only thing driving the Bitcoin price towards 100K and pointed to the decreased block subsidy as the catalyst for the Bitcoin supply shock. I mean, basic math, family, when you have a very limited amount of the Bitcoin available and you have massive demand, numbers go up, numbers go parabolic, new all-time high, price discovery, and before you know it, 600,000 per biddy. Send it. Now for our feature story of the day. VanEck issues a $300,000 Bitcoin price target. He was just recently interviewed. And shout out Satwise Jenks. Welcome to the Hodl Gang. This gong strike is for you, brother. But yeah, family, the CEO of VanEck, the $90 billion asset management giant here in the States, says Bitcoin is going to $300,000 per coin. I watched the interview. Here's a short clip of it, but I'll just tell you the highlights. He ultimately says he believes Bitcoin will overtake gold, and by the time Bitcoin takes or overtakes half of gold's market cap, Total market cap of gold right now is roughly 17 trillion. What's half of 17 trillion? Maybe 8.5 trillion. So by the time Bitcoin hits an 8.5 trillion market cap, he says Bitcoin will be $300,000 per coin by then. Then the interviewer asks, why do you say when Bitcoin hits half the market cap of gold? Why didn't you say a quarter or all of the market cap of gold? And he said, well, if I was a Bitcoin maximalist, and not saying that I'm not, I would say it's going to overtake gold, obviously. But I'm just being very modest and very, what's the term? Like under promise, over deliver is ultimately what he was hinting at. So he's ultimately saying, let's just keep it easy peasy. Bitcoin will easily surpass 300,000 by the time it's 8.5 trillion market cap. And I agree with that. But let's dive a little deeper because VanEck has been bullish on the Biddy for quite some time. Global investment management giant VanEck has reissued 180,000 price target for Bitcoin at the peak of the current cycle. In the latest Bitcoin report, in which they published November 21st, 2 days ago, they said the digital asset, Nathan Frankovitz, the digital asset analyst, said the next phase of the crypto bull market is only just beginning. They predicted that an increasingly friendly regulatory environment of the U.S. and growing institutional interest could catapult Bitcoin to a price of 180 Gs within the next 18 months. Like many other market pundits, the analyst credited Trump's election victory as the primary catalyst for the move and has seen the price of Bitcoin reach as high as 99.9 in the last 24 hours. I said it before, I'll say it again, broskies. I got 99 problems. Bitcoin isn't one. And at this time, we got Bitcoin still maintaining at roughly 98,000, literally 2% from capturing the 100,000 milestone, which could happen any moment now. The analyst shared as of November 11th, Bitcoin entered a new phase where funding rates on perpetual future contracts exceeded 10%. Quoting them here, this shift points towards stronger short to medium term momentum as historically elevated funding rates have been linked to higher 30-90-day returns, reflecting heightened bullish sentiment and demand. However, they noted that the funding rates remain elevated. The market begins to shift into a phase where investors eyeing the longer-term returns over 1 or 2 year time span becomes unfavorable. Quoting them here, on average, purchasers made on days when funding rates were above 10% began underperforming at the 180-day mark, which this trend has become even more pronounced over the 1 and 2 year periods. Several analysts expect Bitcoin to be trading at a price of 100,000 any moment now, including your very own JV and Nipsey, the one and only. But let me know your thoughts, and when do you think Bitcoin will hit 300,000? When do you think Bitcoin will realistically hit a 7.5 trillion market cap, or 8.5 trillion for this sake, half the current market cap of gold? I personally think by the time we overtake gold, we'll be soaring in the 7-figure range, especially with the United States of America adopting Bitcoin as a strategic reserve with Trump at the helm, as we shared as a prediction in yesterday's podcast. But let me know your thoughts, family, and welcome to the Q&A segment of the live stream.